Big Tech wants to convince people that their AI is smart. They want people to think that LLMs are the future of intelligence. They want you to think that a large language model is good at playing Pokemon. But if AI can't even help me put a penis on Dennis Quaid's forehead, could it really be
the very best, like no one ever was?
My investigation began where it always does, the home of grass-touching bodybuilders, Reddit. There, I found an interesting article about Claude AI's ability to play Pokemon Red. Earlier this year, the AI company Anthropic began empowering their model Claude with the ability to play Pokemon Red. However, despite hundreds of hours of gameplay and several custom-built tools to help the AI reason its way through the game, Claude hasn't even finished 50% of it. The author of the article, Julian Bradshaw, describes the ability of Claude as comparable to a 6-year-old. For context, Anthropic likely spent over $30 million training their latest version of Claude. Someone should have told them to find the nearest kindergarten instead. Nonetheless, it's clear that LLMs still haven't surpassed humans' ability to wander around, cosplayed as a child, enslaving wild animals inside balls, and naming them after male genitalia. That's a W for humanity. But a line from the article reveals that there is still an important part of Pokemon that AI is likely good at: Pokemon battles. While I would love to trust Julian on this one and end the video here, Dennis Quaid's dickless forehead has left me doubting everything people claim these LLMs can do. So, I took things into my own hands. But from the start, I ran into an issue. How would I test Claude's ability to direct monsters in a gladiatorial blood sport? Let me introduce you to the second place where grass-touching bodybuilders love to congregate: Pokémon Showdown. Showdown is an online battle emulator played by the thousands of Pokemon fans who are more interested in the strategic side of Pokemon battles. In their strange cult, the following sentence makes sense. Specs T-Tar, T-Waves Crocun, so sack Pex for Lando's Oko Stab EQ. But how would I pit Claude against these clearly illiterate lunatics? It looks like it's time to under-engineer a solution. I decided to first write a web scraping script which uses Selenium to navigate to Showdown, log in, upload a team, and queue up for a battle. Once we are matched up against an opponent, the web scraper gets all relevant battle information every turn, sends that to Claude Sonnet 4, then clicks the action that Claude specifies. We repeat that process every turn until the battle is over, then queue up for another match. After vibe coding the entire script in 1 hour, trying to debug the trash AI code for 1 day, and eventually scrapping everything and rewriting it manually over the course of 1 week, the scraper finally worked. So, what were the results? Turns out, LLMs are dumb fucks. In the 10 full battles the LLM fought in, it won 1 and lost 9. The one win was against a joke team consisting of 6 evolutions. For context, this is like bringing a knife to a nuke fight, but I didn't just give any team to the LLM, I gave the LLM a team that just hit rank 1. The LLM could just about click any move and win that game. So, ignoring the 1 free win the LLM was given, what happened in its 9 losses? First off, the LLM was consistently losing because it ran out of time. Just like in competitive chess, competitive Pokemon has a timer. The actual details of the Showdown timer are a bit complex, but essentially, your timer goes down while you decide what move to make. When it hits 0, you lose. Claude's brain, while filled with a world's worth of knowledge, was taking way too long to make decisions. In all the games Claude lost, it lost because its timer hit 0. But to attribute Claude's losses to its stupendously slow pace would be misleading, because that would imply Claude had any chance of winning the games in the first place. Unfortunately for Anthropic, Claude isn't nearly that smart. In its 9 losses, if there was no timer, Claude would have still lost 8 of them. In all 8 of those failures, something became blatantly obvious. Claude doesn't know what types are.
Huh?
Anyone who has played 1 hour of any Pokemon game would know that one Pokemon type can be strong or weak against another. Even my mud pie eating cousin knows this, and if you didn't hear what I just said, he eats mud. But why is this $30 million kindergartner so bad at this basic task? To answer this question, here's a brief, extremely oversimplified view of an LLM. At its core, a large language model is a very sophisticated, very expensive mathematical function which predicts what word comes next for any piece of text. So, when I ask ChatGPT why my balls are shrinking, it's not actually thinking steroids lead to a shrunken balls and this guy is a wannabe buff guy. It's predicting that given this text, the next most likely word is shrinking. Now, given this text, the next most likely word is testicles. This continues on and on until you have the final message. And if you guys are wondering, Grok just told me shrinking testicles means you're a simp. Buy a Bugatti. Thanks, Elon Musk. Anyways, in the situation I've set up, the LLM is getting something like this. And because this mathematical function has been designed to be a kiss-ass who always thinks it's right, it predicts that the next word is super effective, even though it is anything but. Given this behavior, let's give this kindergartner some training wheels. After another bout of horrible AI code and manual rewrites, I first optimized the decision-making process so we would lose to time less. Then, since my script is already scraping every available move and the opposing Pokemon's type, I let the LLM know which moves were actually super effective against the opponent's Pokemon. Along with other minor fixes, Claude no longer had any excuses. Unfortunately, in the next 4 full battles Claude fought in, it still lost all 4. There really is no escaping the kindergartner allegations. The sad reality is, Claude has an incredibly low battle sense. It will waste its power boosts in insignificant moments, refuse to eliminate weak opponent Pokemon, squander strong positions, and provide ridiculous reasoning the entire way through. There are many more ways I can enhance Claude's abilities, but in the face of its ineptitude, I didn't want to put in the effort. Sadly for big tech, and happily for the rest of the world, LLMs aren't good at Pokemon. However, humanity hasn't won quite yet, because you may have noticed that every time I mention the battles I tested Claude in, I'm only counting full battles. On Pokémon Showdown, there are many users who actually touch turf instead of grass, and as such, they are prone to rage quitting. In Pokémon Showdown, a user can forfeit a battle early. Oftentimes, a turf-touching faker will have one turn in the battle go wrong, then rage quit the entire game. And that is the one advantage AI will forever hold against a human opponent. Despite all its stupidity, it will never give up. Unfortunately for the turf touchers who faced down Claude, they didn't know that no matter how bad they fucked up, they could still win. Out of the 25-ish battles Claude fought in, it won 9 of them, of which 6 of those came after I added in the optimizations. Of those 9 wins, a majority came after 1 turn, where Claude would use the game plan laid out for its team to get a cheese kill, and the turf toucher would immediately forfeit. In full matches, even if Claude got 1 or 2 cheese kills, it would fail to take advantage of the lead and lose in the long run. So, is AI better than you at Pokemon? As long as you don't give up, and as long as you touch some grass. Probably not.